And good evening, everybody. Welcome to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It is the Pack Football Show. Might mention there to Lindsey, you need to get the Rockies out of there. I think they were both going out over the air, so if we just get them off and just get us on, I think we'll be good. But we have no confusion. We're ready to roll.
We want to talk about winners.
Jim Brooks along with Joe Cervi here.
Let's go.
Head coach Phil Viho. We also have a couple of special guests we'll introduce here shortly. I might as well introduce them right now. Devin Larson and Keith McCaney. Record setter. Not a bad opener as a Thunderwolf there, Devin.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
He ends up as an RMAC Player of the Week offensively, and then he gets the National High School Coaches Foundation Player of the Week in Colorado. That's okay. Thank you. And
good way to start.
And you knew how many days before you were going to start that you were the guy?
It was about a week and a half before.
Yeah, so you had time
to
digest it a little bit.
Yeah.
What was it like?
I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I came here for a reason to help this team win games, to be part of this culture that Coach Viho has set. So, I mean, I was excited when I had the opportunity to enter the transfer portal and kind of reunite with Coach Viho. So I was excited to be part of the Pack family.
Let's give Devin's numbers, shall we? 30 of 45. You know, he missed 15, so
yeah, he's not
that
very
great.
Good. We thought he wasn't very
508 yards, 5 touchdowns. The long was a 49-yarder, and sacked a couple times. You know, Roman came into game 5 for 5.
He did. That's
so
100%
that's not
right there.
bad.
That's solid.
When your two new quarterbacks go 35 for 50, I can do math there. That's not too bad of a day. But when you look back on it, there's a couple plays might have left out there as well, and a couple of funky penalties. Phil, we'll get to that here in a little bit.
I'm sure you'll love talking about that.
A couple of those offensive pass interference calls, just strange, to say the least. But man, what a way to get the game started. But, Phil, let's talk about the game. I mean, it kind of mirror image of last year a lot of ways because it kind of kept them in the ball game in certain respects. In the first quarter, first of all, the win, weird playing with that, going back and forth, but unable to take advantage of some early opportunities. But the defense – Joe and I kind of said the defense played great all night, long enough to 100%. Let the offense be great.
Yeah, defense balled out all night long. They did a really good job of limiting that offense and giving us opportunity offensively and even in special teams to kind of find our rhythm. You know, our first field goal, we go out there and freshman holder and just didn't get it down. You know, and Evan, kicked off for us, but this is his first year for us kicking field goals, and the second one we go down there, we just missed it, and obviously had a interception in the end zone that hurt us. Realistically, we should have went into halftime 27-3.
Well, that's what we kept saying is it felt like it should be a blowout already, and yet there they are, still just hanging around.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and we, good teams find a way to win. And we found a way, on Thursday night against a really quality opponent. That team's going to win a lot of football games in the RMAC, and just kept plugging.
Well, let's go ahead. We threw the field goal kicker under the bus.
I did.
It was a bad kick, but
you're saying it happens.
The holder on the first, was it the holder's fault on the first one then?
Well, we didn't get it down. We fumbled it on the catch and didn't get it down. Well, we got it down, but by that time it was a little too late.
There was people in the backfield.
Yeah. and again, it's
first game.
It is
logistics. First game. It almost, to me, and I mentioned on the air, it felt like the holder was almost a yard too close. And I don't know that he was, but it sure looked like it because where our angle was, it kind of looked like he was just. It was just a little.
Yards.
Was he? Because it just looked like he was a little too close.
Yeah.
You got to have that margin for error, but that didn't matter. None of the mistakes, none of the missed field goal, the botched hold, the interception, none of that stuff came back to haunt you.
Well, that's the beauty of being able to come back in on Friday and evaluate tape and get better from a win, and not have to do that from a loss. And if we do those things this weekend, that's going to be a different story because we've got a really good football team coming here this weekend that's ranked top, I think, 15th in D2 football and Lone Star Conference champion and playoff appearance last year, and they're a very good team. And so it was great for us, to be honest with you, last Thursday to face a quality opponent in a hostile environment with those train horns going, and we found a way to win the game. And I think that's the special thing about this team. Is it doesn't matter how we do it. Is if we can find a way to do it, that's what matters. And defense played awesome all night, and offense found a way to get it done.
Let's go ahead and introduce Keith McCaney, a starting cornerback for the Thunderwolves. Keith, I know you guys probably wanted a shutout in the ball game. You always do when you're on defense, but to hold a team to 6 points at their home field, you guys had to feel good about it.
Yeah, we felt ecstatic about it. All week we pride ourselves on, playing together, playing as a unit, doing our job, doing our 111, and, playing for the guy next to you. So when we come out there on Saturdays or Thursdays and we play with that mentality, it makes it that much easier to, hold them to 6 points.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go on tonight, but this week a little different animal. I'm sure you looked at some of the numbers they have and some of the big receivers they had. Might be some sleepless nights, but I'm sure your defense is relying on, hey, you know what? We do our thing again, we'll be all right.
Yeah, for sure. You could say it's sleepless, but coming up this week, looking at the matchups that we have, it's really just another opportunity. Every day is just another opportunity to prove who you want to be who you want to be, and just understand that the day yesterday is not the person that you were. The next day could be the difference between, just a regular person and all conference or all conference and all American.
Well, speaking of that, I kind of refer to you as the quiet corner.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize you started every game last year. And I think you started every game as your redshirt freshman year, too.
I did.
So you haven't missed a game, and you're kind of out there. I mean, you got the, Bone is All-American and all the, everybody. And a great defensive secondary, which is, I'm sure Coach, they sleep a little better knowing you guys are back there. But how have you grown from, you redshirt, and then you played the redshirt freshman year, started every game. Last year, you started every game. You're 1 for 1 this year, so knock on wood, your streak's intact.
Yes,
how have you grown as a player in that defensive secondary? Because now you're playing, this is the second year with a new coach.
Yeah.
How have you grown?
I feel like there's been a lot of growth. Coming out of high school, I only played receiver, and then I started playing DB here because of Coach Leo. And then I just feel like learning from, those players, Eli, Bone, Tanner Draper, players that were here for, 5-6 years. They put a lot into me, and they invested a lot into me as well. And I just feel like showing a lot of growth, which is, just being present every day. That's all it really takes, is just trying to grow.
So were you recruited here as a receiver, or did they go get you and say, we're going to change you to DB before? So you knew coming in you were going to DB?
Yes, sir.
So then if you learned from Tanner Draper and Daniel Bone, how are you still healthy?
That is a great
Those
question.
are the
I
two
have no
crash
clue.
test dummies. They've been crash test dummies since we've known them forever.
Yeah.
So you learn from them what not to do with your body.
Yes, indeed I have.
Well, of course, the biggest hit of the year was in the scrimmage when Bone, coming off the edge,
Right.
took out his own man on the edge there. But that was the crazy. How come I'm having a brain lock? It was ramming Cody.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't
They
want to
took
hit
out there
well,
on the scrimmage there when they came around the edge, so you just want to stay out of their way. Well, as you talk about playing cornerback at CSU Pueblo, you look through the history of the program since the rebirth. Cornerback has been a highlight position in this program. There have been some great ones through the years. Some of them are still playing at the next level.
Yes, sir.
Well, and not only that, you're a lot bigger than most of them. 6 foot tall at a
Yeah.
cornerback at CSU Pueblo is a giant compared to all the midgets they've had, just the tough little guys that have gone out and get them. But talk about the defense on last Thursday. On how did you guys know going in that we just got to lock it down until we figure out what we're doing on offense?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of it just goes to just our game plan, just understanding that as DBs, we have one job: just lock up our man. It's 9 times out of 10 it's a matchup. Mano y mano. I got to win my matchup, and if I do, we win.
You like that?
Yeah, I love
See,
that.
I like guys that want that. Just me and you, let's go.
Well, Phil, it's got to be a luxury to game plan on defense when you know you don't have to be very gimmicky. Taking chances, rushing 6 or 7 guys, rush your base. If you don't get to them, you've got guys on the back end that are going to make good coverage plays.
Yeah, we've got a really, really talented defense and a really, really talented secondary. Coach Foskey and the rest of the staff on the defensive side do an unbelievable job making sure that these guys are prepared and ready to go on game day. And you talked about sleeping a little bit better at night. You definitely sleep a lot better, when you know what you got on the defensive side. And it's not just, the starting 11. That's the beautiful thing right now is we've got some depth. which is huge. And we feel like, shoot, there's 3 deep on the defensive line that can go in and play at any time, and we feel like there's 6 corners that can go in and play at any time. And it's a luxury. It really is. And it's a testament to these guys and their love for Pac football, because realistically in this day and age, there's a lot of guys that if they wanted to leave this place and get in the portal, they'd be playing on TV, and doing their thing. And they love CSU Pueblo. They love this place and how special it is, and so we're very fortunate from that standpoint.
Well, Feeney mentioned that in the post game about just throwing guy after guy at them. I mean, they were guys come off the field, guys go on, guys come off the field, guys. It's like we played everybody, and they didn't know who was in the game. They were gassed. Mine was obviously. It was that testament to that depth.
Yeah.
Just throwing guy after guy after them. Now the pressure numbers weren't exactly what you would like to see, getting sacks or whatever, but I think it was enough pressure to let everybody do their job.
Yeah, well, they didn't really give us a ton of opportunity
Right.
to get a lot of pressure. You look at their game plan, what they were going to do. They were going to do a lot of quick pass game. They were going to get the ball out of their hands quickly, so that way it kind of neutralized the pass rush a little bit. And so that was really their game plan, and they did a good job with that. For us, defensively, we were okay with that too.
Sure.
So, again, it doesn't matter. I mean, we had a couple penalties on defense that if we don't have those penalties, they're held to under 200 yards of total offense, and
You'll take that every game.
I don't care if we get 0 sacks or 15, really all
Every
that matters is we win the game.
Well, the one constant during the game is stopping the run. I think when they got a 4-yard gain, it seemed like, man, that was a huge play.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it was just no gain, 1 yard, -1. They were always behind the chains.
Yeah, our D line and our linebackers are doing a really good job understanding their gaps, how to fit for certain run schemes, and that was a team that really gave us a lot of issues last year. To be honest with you, from the run game.
Well, just look at the score.
Yep, there's no doubt.
It was a one-score game, and while the defense was doing all that, it let the kid from Silver City slide in and get his bearings, and all of a sudden he was like a kid on Christmas morning when he saw, 6'3" over there, 6'3" over there, a couple of midget corners. Let's go. And it was basically 2 guys on an island all game long, and you took full advantage. Devin, talk about just Thursday night.
Yeah, we knew going into that week that we were going to have opportunities with our one-on-one matchup. The SD Mines loves to load the box and kind of give that look, so we knew we were going to have some opportunities. And like you said, we took advantage of that. Like Reggie and Taylor, they made some amazing plays out there. Bailed me out of some throws, to be honest. But having those guys out there is huge for us. I know where they're going to be. I know they're going to run the right routes. And when that ball's up there, they're going to come down with it. Like we talk about, there's no 50-50 balls with them. They're going to come down with them every single time. So it's awesome having them.
Was it fun to watch? Was the film as good as it was in person when looking at some of those catches and yards after catch?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I didn't even realize what. I mean,
We did.
I didn't. Coach, Chance pulled me aside at the end of the third quarter, and he's like, "Hey, Devin just broke the single game record for passing yards." I was like, "No, he did not." He's like, "Yes, he's already got almost 500 yards." Like, you're no way. It didn't feel like that live. I mean, you watch these guys and you watch them go out and make plays, and what they're capable of. The fun thing for me is watching them in practice, because we get it. I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's iron sharpens iron, and we've got some really good receivers and some really good DBs, and we battle. They battle at practice, and I think that's what makes both sides better, And
Well, if you can cover, if Keith and those guys can cover Reggie and Zach and Taylor and Nigel, then you're going to be okay. You feel that same way?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Do you give them to them in practice?
For sure.
That a kid. See,
Let 'em
the
know
one
about it
thing
a
you
little
also
bit.
have to know, and I'm sure you know about the defensive backs at CSU Pueblo. That's why I gravitated. When I was a sports editor and covered them, I hung out with the DBs because they talked the most smack of anyone. They had the most personality. They had the most fun. And it was just a great time to be around them. Some of the greatest guys in the history of the program were those guys. And, that room was a little bit crazy.
Definitely. We are at ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It is the Pac Football Show. Brought to you by Rustler Implement. They're your local premier Kubota case IH and New Holland dealer. Please like their Facebook business page for a chance to win one of two $100 gift cards and receive all the updates and the promotions they are offering. Same name, same family since 1960. We'll come back after this time. We'll talk a little bit more about Thursday night's game, plus look ahead to a new opponent for the Thunderbolts, University of Texas Permian Basin. Pack Football Show. Come back and join us right here on Fox Sports Pueblo.
This is the Pack Football Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, along with Thunderwolves head coach, Philip Vigil.
And thank you very much, Aaron Konitschke. Jim Brooks here, along with Joe, the head coach. Keith McCaney also along with us, and Devin Larson, our special guest tonight. Steel City Solar and Roofing is proud to serve the Southern Colorado community. As a locally owned company, we uphold the values that matter to you. We proudly partner with San Isabel Electric, provide the best solutions for all your energy needs. Alongside solar and roofing, we are now your premium Tesla dealer in Pueblo, Colorado, offering Tesla Powerwalls, batteries, and EV chargers. We can't wait to continue serving our community with the best in energy solutions. Once again, Steel City Solar and Roofing. You got an electric car, Phil?
No, I don't.
You don't look like an electric car guy.
I
You
got a
look
big
like
truck.
a big truck. Exactly. Well, enjoy it while you can.
Yes, sir.
They're coming after it, dude.
I'm keeping it for as long as I can.
Be like Furiosa. We'll call it Filiosa.
That
Give
was
us
a great
your
movie.
Could you see
truck.
him?
That was a
Could you
great
see
movie.
him? He'd be Mad Max. He's Mad Phil.
Exactly.
That's a great movie.
Well, Phil, we talked about defense quite a bit there in that first part, but offensively, their defense kind of dictated what you guys had to do in a lot of ways, didn't they? They came out, they're 9 in the box a lot of times. You say, well, our receiver's one-on-one on the edge. He's going to throw it up to him. We like our chances, and it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, we you have to adjust in game to what you're getting, and they did some things that they hadn't shown, and we knew they were going to overload the box. We knew that they wanted to stop the run. That's who they are. That's what they want to do. And you know, their defensive philosophy is make the guys on the edge make plays, because even if you throw it to them, they still got to catch it. You know, and
Well, they did.
they did. They did on Thursday night, and really, you know, we tried. You know, we thought all week that going in that we're going to have to attack the C gaps, just because how many bodies were inside the A and B gaps, and it got to the second quarter, and I told Coach Brown, I was just like, hey, I'm tired of running into overload the box. Let's get the ball on the edges. Let's get the ball to our playmakers. I said, I don't care if we throw for 5,000 yards tonight. Let's go. You know, and that's what he started doing. So we let those guys go make plays, and Devin did a good job of putting it in a position where our guys can go make plays, and the rest was history. You know, I think this year is a little bit more unique than last year at that quarterback position, just because, you know, we've got so much more help around, you know, and we've got so many playmakers on the edge. We've got an unbelievable tailback group, unbelievable tight end group. Our offensive line is playing at a high level. And so now, you know, what we asked Chance to do last year, we don't need Devin to do that this year. You know, we need Devin to distribute the ball to who's open, you know, and don't make a simple game hard, right? Find the open guy, deliver the football. And he did a really good job of that on Thursday night.
Well, it's kind of nice that you talked a little bit. You were in max protection quite a bit, and that's kind of nice for you to get time to. But it's easy when you've got guys going out and getting the football like you gave it to them. But talk about that. Just your line played well. Did you get dirty? I don't even know if you got dirty. I don't think
I
you
did not. No. Shout out to the O line.
Right. So
Not
it
dirty.
was kind of nice to see. But that you said coming into this season that offensive line was going to be a strength of yours.
Yeah.
And I don't know how everybody graded out, but it seemed to us that they just did just enough to give you all the time you needed to do what you were going to do.
They fought. I mean, they fought all night, you know, and they fought in the run game. They fought in the pass game. And you know, they really take pride in how hard they play, you know, and they did a good job. They did a good job.
Well, it's that moment of the show where we start to question some of the calls.
Can't wait.
We gotta, you know.
This is Jim's favorite segment, by the way.
Well, but I have, you know, I was with the commissioner this week quite a bit. So
Chris Graham.
I have found religion as far as picking on referees, but you can still kind of probe on a couple of calls there. The 50-50 pass interference calls, the offensive pass interference calls. You got to be wondering, how is that the case when my guy has a guy draped all over him the whole way down the field, and at the very end you get a little separation. Well, he must be cheating. I'm talking about the one right there
I
on
know
the
which one you're talking
yeah,
about.
right there on the edge, right down there at the goal line.
You're talking about Taylor's.
Yes.
Yeah. The back shoulder throw. Yeah. Again, those.
What did it look like on film? I mean, looking
Yeah,
at that, was there anything there whatsoever to make you believe, well, maybe he did push off?
No. I mean, it confirmed what I saw live, you
Right.
know. And again, those, just like we talked about the holder they make mistakes. I make mistakes. These guys make mistakes. And we can't control the referees. We can't control the calls they make or the calls they don't make. And the clips we get on tape and the clips we don't. I mean, it is what it is. And we got to move on. And I might, make sure that they know I'm not happy. But we gotta move on to the next play. And I can't preach to these guys next play mentality if I'm hanging on to the last one.
Well, and you can't nitpick after a win because it doesn't do you any good. Or, I mean, it's like that almost like sounds like sour grapes. Like, man, we should have won bigger. But it's at the same time you want the powers that be to know, hey, man, you missed this. You don't want to penalize my guys just because we're kicking their ass.
Well, there's a process for that in our league, you
Yeah.
know. And Randy Campbell, who's our head of officials, he does a good job of getting those guys on the same page and holding those guys accountable. And they watch every single game and every single penalty, and they go through it. And, I submit the plays that I have questions on, and he's honest with me. If he says we missed it, then I know there are several times where he's come back and said, "You're right. This was the wrong call," And so I know it's getting addressed. I know those guys are human and they're going to make mistakes. And we just gotta go.
I think the only one that kind of made us talk about it more than we normally do was the challenge and the replay and them saying that it didn't work, and all of a sudden then it worked, but it didn't work when they were checking it or whatever. It's just you can't have that if it doesn't work.
Well, it's just that was frustrating for me because we had the view on our iPad, so I know the stream was there, but it wasn't working on the iPad in the officials booth. Now
Maybe it's because it's 9 miles away in the corner of the end zone.
well, I think there were a lot of technical issues on Thursday.
It seemed people that were
seriously.
trying to stream it said the same thing.
Well, I mean, anytime you implement something new that's never been used before,
Yeah.
there's going to be a growing pain. You look at even the Division I. There was several guys that had issues with the helmet-to-helmet communication with the coaches. Stanford this last week, they were
The
having
clock
issues.
didn't even work for the
Florida State
Florida
game.
State game.
Yeah.
Like they need more problems.
Oh boy. But there's going to be some technical issues. And the thing that's encouraging for me is that those issues were addressed. And I know. I actually had a conversation with the commissioner today about it, and I know that those things are getting addressed and that we're trying to find the best way because you know what? We're going to have everyone here this weekend.
Yeah, all eyes on you now.
And
So if you have technical issues,
gonna
then you're
happen.
going to be
it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I
so-
already know what's going to happen, and that's just part of it until we kind of get a standard operating procedure with some of the stuff that's new. There's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some bumps, Thankfully, it didn't cost us the game.
Exactly.
And we can grow from it and learn from it without it, hurting our chances.
And the potential huge call of the game was the ground causing the fumble that was interpreted not to be causing the fumble. And I thought, live action, it looked like that was pretty obvious, but is that one of them where they couldn't see it?
Yeah.
They couldn't make a ruling.
Yeah. There was two that I was going to challenge. I was going to challenge the kick out of bounds.
Yes.
So down on the sideline, we kick that ball and that wind is blowing in our face and it's a shorter kick. They don't come up and catch it. And Noah and Isaiah are running down the sideline. And I think it was Noah that hit that ball back in bounds to keep it from going out of bounds, to try to give Isaiah an opportunity to go and recover it. And he hits it back in bounds and it bounces off one of their players and out of bounds.
Yeah.
And, I was going to challenge it because they called, kick off out of bounds. And our guys are like, Coach, we don't have it on tape. Like you watch it on tape. It doesn't show the sideline where you can see where the ball, where it gets hit back in bounds, where it bounced. And so, that was one that I was arguing, but I wasn't going to throw a challenge flag just to throw a challenge flag when it's not going to be seen, because then I know.
Well, let me interrupt you right there. Now, what was the it looked like one guy wanted to overrule, but the guy whose call it was he was adamant. And the one guy kept trying to say, no, this is kind of what happened. But the other guy said, nope, not on my watch. And the referee had to go, well, I guess we go with the guy's original call.
I don't know. I honestly don't. I think who knows? They get over there and they huddle up and they try to shut me out, and I'm not allowed in that circle. So I don't know what was said, but I know what I saw, and it was clear as day from my vantage point. And they go down and score 3 points off that.
Right.
Devin's fumble, that wasn't a fumble. They go down and score 3 points off of that. And I think it's a testament again to our defense and how well they played. And it doesn't show up in the stat book, but
Sure.
they balled out.
All right, we're up to our next time out. If you got a question for the coach, text it in to me, or you can tweet Joe or X Joe.
X
Joe. 719-671-7574. And that'll come to me. And then we also have Joe on the old X machine. So if you got a question, we got a couple of them come in. But we remind you, Rustler Implement, they're your local premier Kubota, Case IH, and New Holland dealer. Please like their Facebook business page for a chance to win one of the $100 gift cards they offer there. Receive all the updates and promotions they are offering. Same name, same family since 1960. We also thank ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House for hosting the show each and every week, and they put out a pretty good spread here tonight. Joe, what do we got?
We got the pizza, sausage, and pepper. This is what we got last week, and they won.
Okay, so we stay with the victory dinner.
Yeah, you learned that we are creatures of habit after wins.
Dr. P's here, too.
So if you win this week, when you win, whoever comes next week will get the same exact spread.
I told Dr. P, he came to the first radio show last year.
Right.
And then didn't come for 3 weeks.
And what happened?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
And then I told him, I was like, hey, you need to start coming to. And so, this year he's like, when's the coaching show? And I said, you don't have to go. He's like, I'm going. That's all right. Let's go.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we spent a lot of time with him last week.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a good travel weekend for us. It was a great outcome.
And he has a signature victory.
I'm glad you guys traveled well.
He has a signature victory meal.
We haven't even talked about it.
We haven't.
Yeah.
So we haven't even talked about it.
I thought we'd go out for a cold one. I said, let's go out for a cold one. So where did we end up? McDonald's, he had a cold milkshake.
I'm surprised he didn't have
And
his Coke.
lukewarm fries and a cold Sprite. So that was his idea of a cold one. So I go, okay, I guess I have the Big Mac and fries.
Yeah, there you go.
That's that.
Well, when we come back, we'll talk about the bus.
Yes, there's a lot of things to talk about there.
Which bus was it? Were either of you on that bus? Neither
were
one
not,
of
no.
us.
Neither
One of you got the tire bus.
All right, hold that thought. ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It's the Pack Football Show right here on Fox Sports Pueblo.
This is the Pack Football Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, along with Thunderwolves head coach, Philip Vigil.
And thank you very much, Aaron Konitschke. Jim Brooks here, along with Joe, head coach. Keith McCaney also along with us, and Devin Larson, our special guest tonight. Steel City Solar and Roofing is proud to serve the Southern Colorado community. As a locally owned company, we uphold the values that matter to you. We proudly partner with San Isabel Electric, provide the best solutions for all your energy needs. Alongside solar and roofing, we are now your premium Tesla dealer in Pueblo, Colorado, offering Tesla Powerwalls, batteries, and EV chargers. We can't wait to continue serving our community with the best in energy solutions. Once again, Steel City Solar and Roofing. You got an electric car, Phil?
No, I don't.
You don't look like an electric car guy.
I
You
got a
look
big
like
truck.
a big truck. Exactly. Well, enjoy it while you can.
Yes, sir.
They're coming after it, dude.
I'm keeping it for as long as I can.
Be like Furiosa. We'll call it Filiosa.
That
Give
was
us
a great
your
movie.
Could you see
truck.
him?
That was a
could you
great
see
movie.
him? He'd be Mad Max. He's Mad Phil.
Exactly.
That's a great movie.
Well, Phil, we talked about defense quite a bit there in that first part, but offensively, their defense kind of dictated what you guys had to do in a lot of ways, didn't they? They came out, they're 9 in the box a lot of times. You say, well, our receivers one-on-one on the edge. It's going to throw it up to them. We like our chances, and it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, we you have to adjust in game to what you're getting, and they did some things that they hadn't shown, and we knew they were going to overload the box. We knew that they wanted to stop the run. That's who they are. That's what they want to do. And their defensive philosophy is make the guys on the edge make plays, because even if you throw it to them, they still got to catch it. And
When they did.
And they did. They did on Thursday night. And really, we tried. We thought all week that going in that we're going to have to attack the C gaps just because how many bodies were inside the A and B gaps, and they got to the second quarter, and I told Coach Brown, I was just like, hey, I'm tired of running into overloaded box. Let's get the ball on the edges. Let's get the ball to our playmakers. I said, I don't care if we throw for 5,000 yards tonight. Let's go. And that's what he started doing. So we let those guys go make plays, and Devin did a good job of putting it in a position where our guys can go make plays, and the rest was history. I think this year is a little bit more unique than last year at that quarterback position, just because we've got so much more help around, and we've got so many playmakers on the edge. We've got an unbelievable tailback group, unbelievable tight end group. Our offensive line is playing at a high level, and so now, what we asked Chance to do last year, we don't need Devin to do that this year. We need Devin to distribute the ball to who's open, and don't make a simple game hard, right? Find the open guy, deliver the football, and he did a really good job of that on Thursday night.
Well, it's kind of nice. You talked a little bit. You were in max protection quite a bit, and that's kind of nice for you to get time to. But it's easy when you've got guys going out and getting the football like you gave it to them. But talk about that. Just your line played well. Did you get dirty? I don't even know if you got dirty. I
did not. No. Shout out to the O-line.
Right. So it was kind of nice to see. But that you said coming into this season that offensive line was going to be a strength of yours.
Yeah.
And I don't know how everybody graded out, but it seemed to us that they just did just enough to give you all the time you needed to do what you were going to do.
They fought. I mean, they fought all night, and they fought in the run game, they fought in the pass game, and they really take pride in how hard they play, and they did a good job. They did a good job.
Well, it's that moment of the show where we start to question some of the calls.
Can't wait.
We got to.
This is Jim's favorite segment, by the way.
Well, but I have, I was with the commissioner this week quite a bit. So
Chris Graham.
I have found religion as far as picking on referees, but you can still kind of probe on a couple of calls there. The 50-50 pass interference calls, the offensive pass interference calls. You got to be wondering, how is that the case when my guy has a guy draped all over him the whole way down the field, and at the very end you get a little separation? Well, he must be cheating. I'm talking about the one right there on
which one you're talking
about.
about.
Right there on the edge, right down there at the goal line.
You're talking about Taylor's.
Yes.
Yeah. The back shoulder throw. Yeah. Again, those.
What did it look like on film? I mean, looking at
Yeah,
that, was there anything there whatsoever to make you believe, well, maybe he did push off?
No. I mean, it confirmed what I saw live, you
Right.
know. And again, those, just like we talked about the holder they make mistakes. I make mistakes. These guys make mistakes, and we can't control the referees. We can't control the calls they make or the calls they don't make. And the clips we get on tape and the clips we don't. I mean, it is what it is, and we got to move on. And I might, make sure that they know I'm not happy, but we gotta move on to the next play. And I can't preach to these guys next play mentality if I'm hanging on to the last one.
Well, and you can't nitpick after a win because it doesn't do you any good. Or, it's like that almost like sounds like sour grapes. Like, man, we should have won bigger. But it's at the same time you want the powers that be to know, hey, man, you missed this. You don't want to penalize my guys just because we're kicking their ass.
Well, there's a process for that in our league, you
Yeah.
know. And Randy Campbell, who's our head of officials, he does a good job of getting those guys on the same page and holding those guys accountable. And they watch every single game and every single penalty, and they go through it. And, I submit the plays that I have questions on, and he's honest with me. If he says we missed it, then, I know there are several times where he's come back and said, you're right, this was the wrong call, and so I know it's getting addressed. I know those guys are human, and they're going to make mistakes, and we just gotta go.
I think the only one that kind of made us talk about it more than we normally do was the challenge and the replay and them saying that it didn't work, and all of a sudden then it worked, but it didn't work when they were checking it or whatever. It's just you can't have that if it doesn't work.
Well, it's just that was frustrating for me because we had the view on our iPad, so I know the stream was there, but it wasn't working on the iPad in the officials
Right.
booth. Now,
Maybe it's because it's 9 miles away in the corner of the end zone.
well, I think there were a lot of technical issues on Thursday.
It seemed like it seemed no people that were
seriously.
trying to stream it said the same thing.
Well, I mean, anytime you implement something new that's never been used before,
Yeah.
there's going to be a growing pain. You know, you look at even the Division I. There was several guys that had issues with the helmet-to-helmet communication with the coaches. You know, Stanford this last week, they
Well,
were
the
having
clock
issues.
didn't even work for the
Florida State
Florida
game.
State game.
Yeah.
Like they need more problems.
Oh boy. But you know, there's going to be some technical issues. You know, and the thing that's encouraging for me is that those issues were addressed. And you know, I know I actually had a conversation with the commissioner today about it. You know, and I know that those things are getting addressed, and that we're trying to find the best way because you know what, we're going to have everyone here this weekend.
Yeah, all eyes on you now.
And
So if you have technical issues,
gonna
then you're
happen.
going to be
it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I
so-
already know what's going to happen, you know, and that's just part of it until we kind of get a standard operating procedure with some of the stuff that's new. There's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some bumps, you know. Thankfully, it didn't cost us the game.
Exactly.
And you know, we can grow from it and learn from it without it, you know, hurting our chances.
And the potential huge call of the game was the ground causing the fumble that was interpreted not to be causing the fumble. And I thought, live action, it looked like that was pretty obvious, but is that one of them where they couldn't see it?
Yeah.
And they couldn't make a ruling?
Yeah. There was two that I was going to challenge. I was going to challenge the kick out of bounds.
Yes.
So down on the sideline, you know, we kick that ball and that wind is blowing in our face, and it's a shorter kick. They don't come up and catch it, and Noah and Isaiah are running down the sideline, and I think it was Noah that hit that ball back in bounds to keep it from going out of bounds, to try to give Isaiah an opportunity to go and recover it. And he hits it back in bounds, and it bounces off one of their players and out of bounds.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was going to challenge it because they called, you know, kick off out of bounds. And you know, our guys are like, Coach, we don't have it on tape. Like, you watch it on tape, it doesn't show the sideline where you can see where the ball, where it gets hit back in bounds, where it bounced. And so, you know, that was one that I was arguing, but I wasn't going to throw a challenge flag just to throw a challenge flag when it's not going to be seen, you know, because then I know.
Well, let me interrupt you right there. Now, what was the it looked like one guy wanted to overrule, but the guy whose call it was, he was adamant. And the one guy kept trying to say, no, this is kind of what happened. But the other guy said, nope, not on my watch. And the referee had to go, well, you know, I guess we go with the guy's original call.
I don't know. I honestly don't. You know, I think, who knows? They get over there and they huddle up and they try to shut me out, you know, and I'm not allowed in that circle. So I don't know what was said, but I know what I saw, and it was clear as day from my vantage point. You know, and they go down and score 3 points off that.
Right.
You know, Devin's fumble, that wasn't a fumble. They go down and score 3 points off of that. And I think it's a testament again to our defense and how well they played. And it doesn't show up in the stat book, but
sure
they balled out.
All right, we're up to our next time out. If you got a question for the coach, text it in to me, or you can tweet Joe or X Joe. X Joe. 719-671-7574. And that'll come to me. And then we also have Joe on the old X machine. So if you got a question, we got a couple of them come in. But we remind you, Rustler Implement, they're your local premier Kubota, Case IH, and New Holland dealer. Please like their Facebook business page for a chance to win one of the $100 gift cards they offer there. Receive all the updates and promotions they are offering. Same name, same family since 1960. We also thank ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House for hosting the show each and every week, and they put out a pretty good spread here tonight. Joe, what do we got?
We got the pizza, sausage, and pepper. This is what we got last week, and they won.
Okay, so we stay with the victory dinner.
Yeah, you learned that we are creatures of habit after wins.
Dr. P's here, too.
So if you win
Yes.
this week, when you win, whoever comes next week will get the same exact spread.
I told Dr. P, you know, he came to the first radio show last year,
Right.
and then didn't come for 3 weeks.
And what happened?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
And then I told him, I was like, hey, you need to start coming to. And so, you know, this year he's like, when's the coaching show? And I said, you don't have to go. He's like, I'm going. That's all right. Let's go.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we spent a lot of time with him last week.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a good travel weekend for us. It was a great outcome.
And he has a signature victory.
I'm glad you guys traveled well.
He has a signature victory meal.
We haven't even talked about
We
it.
haven't.
Yeah. So
We haven't even talked about it.
I thought we'd go out for a cold one. I said, let's go out for a cold one. So where did we end up? McDonald's, he had a cold milkshake.
I'm surprised he didn't have
And
his Coke.
lukewarm fries and a cold Sprite. So that was his idea of a cold one. So I go, okay, I guess I had the Big Mac and fries.
Yeah, there you go.
That's that.
Well, when we come back, we'll talk about the bus.
Yes, there's a lot of things to talk about there.
Which bus was it? Were
Yeah.
either of you on that bus? Neither one of us. Neither one of you got the tire bus.
All right, hold that thought. ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House. It's the Pack Football Show right here on Fox Sports Pueblo.
This is the Pack Football Show on Fox Sports 1350. Let's head over to ThunderZone Pizza and Tap with your hosts, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, along with Thunderwolves head coach, Philip Beal.
And welcome back. ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House, final segment of the Pack Football Show, brought to you by Steel City Solar and Roofing. They're proud to serve the Southern Colorado community as a locally owned company. They uphold the values that matter to you. Proud partner with San Isabel Electric to provide the best solutions for all your energy needs. Alongside Solar and Roofing, they are now your premium Tesla dealer in Pueblo, offering Tesla power walls, batteries, and EV chargers. Can't wait to continue serving the community with the best in energy solutions. Proud new sponsor of the Pack Football Show. Well, before we get to Texas Permian Basin, let's quickly talk about the bus situation there on Thursday. Kind of crazy. The video of the wheel bouncing down the road looked like a cartoon there, Phil.
It was not good. It was not good.
They're like, just put some bubble gum on there and take that wheel to the spindle. We can get to town.
Yeah, we as soon as the bus is pulled up, I texted Dr. P and I was like, we may be in trouble. And he's like, what's going on? What are you talking about? I'm like, these buses I think were built in the 60s.
Cardboard.
They were bad.
Did you ever see the movie Major League and they bring out the plane for the Cleveland Indians when they were? That's what the buses were. They were just horrible.
I'm like, okay, we get on and I look around and I'm like, you bring DVDs and things like that to watch as a team. You watch movies on the bus, kind of fun thing to do. And the VHS, that's all I got is VHS, and I'm like, okay. And the AC was not working properly. And so it was, he had it cranked down to 65, but it was probably 85 in that bus.
Oh, man.
It was hot. And so right off the bat, we got the best administration. They right off the bat, he's like, all right, we're going to make it as far as we can possibly make it. We're going to work on getting new buses and figure something out. And so to make matters worse, we're about an hour outside of where we're going to be staying in South Dakota, and Coach Atkinson texts me and says, our tire just fell off. I was like, you're lying to me.
Yeah,
There's no way. You're
it's bouncing
lying.
down the road.
And then Broyles sent me this video of the bus driving on the highway, and in the field in South Dakota is the wheel. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was crazy.
Oh, it was. And honestly, it was the good Lord looking out for us, because where it broke down, there was nothing on either side in 17 miles other than this little restaurant / casino right there. And thankfully, the guys were able to get off and hang out there. And we took the other bus to the hotel, dropped everybody off, and then brought it back. And it wasn't a great. It was what we call
Near perfect.
Near perfect. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
near
yeah.
perfect was last year too.
Yeah.
Everything was near perfect.
Yeah. Well, speaking of excitement and the administration, great. Ben Greenberg's so excited during the broadcast. Phil, you'd have loved him with all these records happening. He was bringing in notes,
Oh,
but
Ben.
we don't read Ben's hieroglyphics. So we got him to finally write him a little neat, and I had all the updates. He was so excited for what you were doing and what the Pack was doing. It was great. But we had a little excitement earlier in the day at lunch.
Ben, he might have been nervous because he about died at lunch.
I thought he was having a coronary.
Yeah, he did
But
something.
the Firehouse restaurant, the food was so good.
Good food.
But he ate it a little too quick and
Wrong pipe. Think of wrong
wrong
pipe.
pipe.
You know when you
Come
drink
on,
something
Ben.
that goes down the wrong pipe? He ate something and it went down the wrong pipe.
But the
So
good
we
news,
about lost,
yeah,
man.
But the good news is he got to take it with him and have it a little later where we were all done already.
Nice job, Ben.
You know, we were doing that when you do Pueblo mouth to mouth, and you look at the other guy and go, it's either you or he's dead. You know, but
There was Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, we didn't
Get
have,
up before you something
we
died.
didn't
Exactly.
we didn't have to go that route. But
All right, let's get to this Texas Permian Basin team. I'm doing the my chart today. I'm looking. I'm going, my God, their quarterback threw 50, and he had 31, and he had 4 touchdowns. Oh my God! And like some of their receivers, looking at some of these numbers, I mean, this could be a shootout. Is that what it's going to be Saturday night, Phil, or is it going to be one of those games where you look at all these offenses are so gaudy and it's going to be a defensive slugfest?
I would say probably the latter, to be honest with you. I think our defense is going to be able to play well. I think their defense is going to be able to play well. I think, they're very different than what we just faced. You look at their game last week.
you're familiar with that team.
Yep. They played a 3-down front, and they dropped 8. And that for us was, again, like we got to take what the defense gives us. If that's, running the football and, dinking and dunking, or if that's throwing it deep and, whatever we had to do to win, that's the thing. And I think there's going to be really, when you have a really good offense and you have a really good defense on both teams, a lot of times it's very rarely comes out in a shootout.
Well,
where you're
3 down linemen, but their 3 down linemen are huge.
giants. Yeah, 6'5",
so even though you're
330.
blocking 5 on 3, you're gonna have one of those guys isn't gonna be double teamed probably. So that's the guy you got to handle, isn't it?
It's a task.
And then it frees up the linebackers.
And obviously I've got colleagues friends in that league that, so I know that they're the real deal. That's for sure.
Did Devin? Did you help break down the film? You probably know some of those guys.
I've had some experience playing against them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a great opportunity for us, a good challenge. I'm excited for it.
Well, and Keith, for you on the defensive side, their receivers, some big guys out there. This Cooley character, Jeremiah Cooley, 8 catches for 160 yards. He's 6'3".
Yep.
And then I think Patterson, he's 6'5". So some big, tall receivers
Very
that
tall.
offer a special challenge for you.
I wouldn't say challenge. I would just say opportunity. It's big receiver. He's going to have different attributes than other receivers. So, it's really just an adjustment week in and week out, just who I'm going to be playing in my matchup.
And I guess
Keith can. The guy might need to be 6'10" to be outside of Keith's reach. Keith has the highest
He's got some
vertical
hops.
For
on
sure.
the team.
Yes, sir.
What was your highest vert? 47?
Oh, my.
45 and a half.
45 and a
And
half.
you're 6 foot. Do that math.
He can jump now.
Okay.
Yeah. And basketball in high school.
I'm just
I did,
testing
yes,
your
sir.
resolve, and you've passed. You've passed the confidence test there. Now, how about you? What do you think? You be able to dissect these guys a little bit?
Yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity. Like Coach said, they got a 3-down front, so they got some big guys there. But the run game should be there. But overall, just excited to see the O linemen, just the opportunity they have to go against those guys to step up and do that. It's gonna be a great opportunity overall. The guys, the playmakers we have, kind of getting Zach Rukowski more involved. Like last week, it was kind of one-on-one matchups, but now they're going to be dropping a lot. So the slot receiver is going to be more in the game now, and getting him the ball more and seeing him work, because he's for sure one of the best receivers in the country.
Probably the tight end Dvorak as well.
Yeah, we got some playmakers out there.
Well, there's an old adage in football, and I don't necessarily subscribe to it like other people, but teams make their biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2. You have an extra couple of days, but you were pretty good to start, and you cleaned some things up. But the quality of competition is increasing dramatically.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's nothing against,
No, what I'm
South
just
Dakota
saying
Mines, but, UTPB has done a really good job of recruiting and developing, and they're number 15 in the country for a reason, and we're going to have to make sure that those mistakes we did make game 1 that we've cleaned up, and we can't hurt ourselves. It's really about the pack. The pack is going to play the pack on Saturday night, and if we take care of the pack, it's going to be fun. And if we don't, it's going to be tough.
All right, we're looking forward to We'll have the ball game for you right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. 5:30 is the pregame show, 6 o'clock kickoff right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. Joe and myself will be there to bring you the call. Special thanks here tonight. Lindsey Broyles has been our producer and engineer tonight. Aaron Konitsky on assignment. I heard he got a had to pick somebody up at the airport. So you do whatever you have to do at iHeartMedia. They tell you to go pick somebody up at the airport. It's probably some star playing at some bar up there and for iHeart promotion. But Aaron will be back with us next week. He'll be there at the game as well. Lindsey, thanks for stepping in. We thank everybody here at ThunderZone Pizza and Tap House for hosting the show. Also our sponsors, Steel City Solar and Rustler Implement. For our two guests tonight, Keith McCaney and Devin Larson for the head coach, Phil Vigil for my partner, Joe Cervi. I'm Jim Brooks. We'll talk to you on Saturday night. Good night, everybody.